Squad, a chef game legendary around the globe.
Soul food,
Make your whole crew vibrate. So come through the Drop Squad and get that live plate. We unapologetically healthy, food is wealth. If you invested in yourself, come to our place. Drop Squad.
Psych.
That's the most it.
We can eat macaroni, cheese, greens, candy yams, fish, pork, whatever, without having any meat, without having processed sugar, without having preservatives. We could do that without all the butter fat. We could do that with all the cholesterol. And I created Drop Squad Kitchen because I was craving those foods when I became vegan. I never really met anybody that did it well. And so this is my Drop Squad Kitchen, where we are unapologetically healthy by any means necessary. We're here to deprogram you from the standard American diet and let you know that you can have culture, you can have your cultural foods, you can have foods that taste amazing without soy, without corn, without sugar, and that's what we're here to do.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm AbundanceChild.
And what does that mean?
Actually, I was born Tamiko, and Tamiko is a Japanese name that means abundance child. I feel as though in this day and time, if I presented myself as Tamiko, it's like, oh, okay, that's nice, I'll probably remember that. But if I say abundance child, you will not ever forget that. You're never going to be like, I don't remember what that says, some abundance. And I also thought about the energy that exudes when we think of abundance. I see that quote every day on social media. Somebody's talking about abundance, manifest abundance, be abundance. So I'm trying to think of anybody that I've ever met in life that doesn't fuck with abundance. So that's me, abundance.
What does Drop Squad Kitchen, like, where did you get the name from?
There's a movie called Drop Squad. I think we have it in the case over there. It was, I think it was 1996 that it came out. And it was about deprogramming people and reprogramming them. And they actually had these vigilantes who dressed up like Black Panthers with red, black, and green that would pick the most, for lack of a better term, coon, Sambo type of characters in their community, and they would kidnap them in this big old bus or big old van and bring them down to the basement of this restaurant and reprogram them. They would make them watch stuff like Black Panther or 12 Years a Slave or Roots. Be like, you have to remember who you are. Why are you working for this big old European conglomerate trying to sell malt liquor and church's chicken to the community? So that's what happened. And there's a scene in there where somebody walks into a restaurant and she says, I'm looking for the Drop Squad. She's like, the Drop Squad? Or, are you talking about where that group that they say these crazy niggas go around kidnapping, white folk, black folks? Said that's crazy. I think white people made that up. And so as she's getting ready to walk out, the guy slips her some information. But the fact that she's asking for Drop Squad and it's a restaurant, I was thinking, like, we need to Drop Squad on people's life.
What things did you struggle with when you first started Drop Squad Kitchen? Or even before it started, when it was just like maybe a memory in your head or a thought in your head?
There's a learning curve. We were the first vegan restaurant in the state of Delaware. So, first of all, people were like, I don't want to eat no vegan food. Right? That was the first thing that we struggled with, is that there's a learning curve about what vegan food is. And I would have to tell people, have you ever in your life had any fruits? Have you had an apple? I'm like, well, that's vegan. Vegan simply means that there are no animal byproducts added. And I'm just talking about the diet. I'm not talking about the lifestyle, right? So that was interesting for people, because people were like, why would I want to do that? Number two, with the people who were interested in vegan or plant-based food, there was a learning curve about price. They do not understand why we would charge anything over $5 for a veggie burger. And so my veggie burger is made out of black beans. My veggie burger is made out of lentils, real red peppers, real green peppers, real onion, real garlic. I make my own seasonings. It takes time to soak those beans. It took time to chop all of those vegetables. It took time to mix all of those vegetables, form into a patty. We use cold pressed olive oil or cold pressed oils here for everything. That's way more expensive than regular standard just olive oil that's heated up. So people didn't understand why a burger would be $9. That was hard pricing. Then the other thing that was hard was to teach people that it's not fast food. Even though vegan food is like the fastest food, because you should just be able to go and eat, a salad or orange or something like that, and it's fast. People don't understand the ticket time and the cook time. Because of today's world, and in other vegan restaurants, you can literally go into mainstream vegan restaurants and get your meal within 10 minutes. That's because if they're selling macaroni and cheese, they have it holding somewhere. They didn't put it in the oven fresh like we do. They've got Beyond Meat burgers and Impossible burgers, which come frozen. And it's just easy to put it on a grill. You don't even have to add seasoning or anything. We don't do anything like that. If you want lemonade here, it's because somebody squeezed all those lemons and all those oranges and poured in agave, which is way more expensive than regular white sugar, right? So those are some of the things that I struggled with, and I had to start teaching the community. I struggled with character too, because I didn't realize that people really didn't know these things. And so I struggled with the wisdom, I struggled with empathy, compassion, and tolerance in dealing with my customers.
Happiest or your most prized accomplishment with Drop Squad Kitchen?
The fact that I did it with my mom and my two daughters, and that all of my family has been on the payroll of Drop Squad Kitchen. Meaning, like, I submitted an idea to my family, and I was like, I want us to have financial stability in our family. I don't want my daughters to have to go away to college to get educated by somebody else, and then go yet again into a foreign community and have to look for a job. Because by that time, I'm getting older, as I am now. I want to make sure that we have some things in place that as I get older, that I will be well taken care of. In the way that I was raised, in the way that society pushes, I just don't think that is going to work. I don't see that we're going to get to the top that fast. And I was like, listen, I have a gift. I think that I might want to be one of the best in the country with the way that I handle vegan food. And I think everybody should get behind me. I am very proud that my family listened to me. They supported me. Every aspect of the business, somebody has had their hand in. And I literally wake up with my family. I work with my family. I go home to my family. I play with my family. I vacation with my family. And we plan and we do it again. And that, to me, is unapologetically wealthy.
Let's say like a little girl watching this and she's struggling, trying to start her business, or just like going through it, trying to share with like her family that she wants to do something and she doesn't really have anybody like behind her. Like what kind of message do you have for her?
I self-sabotaged myself a lot when I was younger, and that's because I always thought I was alone. There's nothing that exists in the physical plane that doesn't exist somewhere else. Every thought, every word goes somewhere. It creates a form. And once I started realizing that, I realized that there were people who came before me that actually made who I am in the flesh and blood, made up my DNA structure. And I realized that there are angels looking down. There are people who are supporting me in heaven or wherever, dimension that they're in, that is way more thorough and have existed way longer than any mother, than any father, any sister, and any brother. And that these voices that I played with in my head when I was little, and when I played dolls, you know how all this imagination, like that really is real. But somehow, we went to school. And somehow, we started watching TV, listening to radio, and started scrolling through our social media, and we forgot those things in our imagination. So I started remembering the things that appealed to me when I was really young and what I wanted to do. You know how They used to ask us, what do you want to be when you get older? I started remembering what it is that I wanted to do and the things that were around that. And I realized that every single thing that happened in my life is because I talked it that way or I thought it that way. And that there is a choice in every single moment in our life. So once I realized that you can't go outside and look at anything in nature and see that it goes backwards. There's nothing. Everything is about moving forward. When things die, they get reborn. So every single bad thing that happens to me in the course of the day, I try to remember that it is only happening to make me a better version of who I am. That every single bad thing that happens is not because I'm a bad person. It's not because I'm a failure. It's not because I'm good at something or somebody else is better. Nobody else even matters, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to matter is what I did with the situation. So that young person just needs to know that the universe doesn't conspire against us. We are not meant to be upset. We are not meant to be sad. We are not meant to be broken and in pain, any of those things. The universe, nature does not work that way. It operates off of high energy and love. Everything is energy. So whatever that person wants, all she has to do is see it, think it, and write it down. Because if you say something, it will be forgotten, right? If you write it down, it will be remembered. But if you do it, it's going to happen. So that's what I want those young people to know, is that they are the creator of their matrix, and that they need to use the tools of their parents and the lineages that they came through, because that's who they chose. Whether they think it's good or bad, they chose those beings to help them in this life. So if they were abused, then they had to go through that, because it's going to make a better person, so that they know not to be that in this world, and they can show people how they got out of it. If they had the perfect lifestyle, then they need to have that lifestyle and continue it on, so they can share that with others. So either way, whatever you think is what it is. And that's what I really want young people to know, is whatever you think is what it is.
Can you tell me about your decor and the inspiration behind everything in Drop Squad Kitchen?
It's just me. Like, I really don't have... I actually have never had a grand opening for Drop Squad Kitchen or anything like that. This was an outfit for an ice cream store, which was my mom's ice cream store since 1999. And it was all 1950s decked out, red, white, and black checkered floors, big neon Molly sign, Elvis Presley, Roots, whatever, 66 signs on the wall, all types of 1950s, 60s, chubby checkers, those types of people. Diana Ross is, just really a classic old-fashioned ice cream store.
Right.
So when she allowed me to take over, I started taking down her pictures, and I started taking the pictures out of my house, that I've collected since college. And so I didn't have any rhyme or reason. It literally was, okay, Mom's not in here anymore, and she had, like I said, all these signs on here. And so I was like, oh, I think Rosa Parks would be great right here. And I think I'll keep some of her stuff, but we need to have books in here. If I'm going to spend all my time here, I want to have pictures of my family in here. I want it to feel like home. So I started bringing pictures of my family. I started bringing all of my books here. I started bringing my spiritual things in here. And then I was like, oh, wait, we need plants. Wait, maybe we should have some, we want people to come and chill. Since we have a 45-minute wait time, people need to have an experience here. So I haven't even got to the place yet where I could take everything out and we could start over, and it's really Drop Squad Kitchen. This is still the ice cream store, and me trying to figure out what my brand is, what my colors are. So the other things that you see, like this wall, is a temporary installation by Seven God. And I told him that I plan on upgrading Drop Squad Kitchen. So until I do that, why don't you just take my walls and do whatever it is that you want to do? And I love it. I love the energy that he put in here. And in fact, I want it to just be painted over so the energy still remains in the store. But I really love art. I really love art as education more than an investment. And I love the energy that it exudes, so that it goes into how we feel when we walk in the place and how we feel when we prepare the food. Every little thing has a meaning. So there's a story behind it because it's mine and I bought it, I curated it, but not in the sense that most people say curated. This is really like my whole life in Drop Squad Kitchen.
And can you tell us about some of the dishes you have here, and just like what's in it, since people aren't really familiar with vegan food, even though they do eat vegan food every day,
Right.
Can you talk more about different dishes you have?
So pretty much everything on my menu are things that I missed when I became vegan in 1993. My three favorite foods are fried chicken. I've never been able to get over it, and like I said, I've been vegan since 1993. A banging spaghetti with meat sauce, like the way my mama and grandmother used to make. And when I say fried chicken, I'm not even talking about the way my mom and grandmother used to make. I liked like Roy Rogers fried chicken from like the Turnpike. There's just something about that chicken, right? Popeye's fried chicken. I know that sounds crazy, but I literally miss that. And tacos. There's something about a good, well-seasoned, hard shell taco that I grew up with. And I actually like the tacos that my mom used to make more than I used to like going to Taco Bell or getting at Mexican restaurants, because those ones were so authentic. I didn't want an authentic. I wanted the taco with the Ortega taco seasoned packet that my mom would put in there with some, dripping with the grease and extra cheddar cheese and like hot sauce, and that's how we make our tacos here.
Right.
So, being as though we have to live here because we work here, open and close every day as a family, I wanted to have things that at the end of the day, we can sit down like we see the Asians sit down and they're eating their food. That's what we do. And we have all the ingredients to make things that we don't have on the menu, but people know that they're on the secret menu. So we have tacos, classic tacos, which were made by our own beefless with the cheddar cheese and kale instead of lettuce, because I noticed lettuce gets soggy, so we use kale to keep that crunch. And fresh pico de gallo, like I love a good salsa, but our pico de gallo is just like, it doesn't make it too soggy, so it's perfect. And it's made fresh. And our own sour cream. Now a lot of people are funny about sour cream, so this is not sour cream and it's not mayonnaise, it's called ranch. It's like our version of a ranch dressing, right? And then we have a black bean taco, which I think is the best taco because it's a black bean and black eyed peas. So that's got that it's like a Hoppin' John type of flavor, our chili, right? From back in the day. Some type of soul food mixed in with your traditional chili flavors. And then we have a mild jerk chicken that we have here. And we have 3 ways that we make that. You can get that in a taco, you can get that in a salad, or you can get that in a sandwich. So the salad would be called the Marley because Marley used to live in Delaware for a minute, right? And I'm really cool with the family that he was cool with that there was the People's Festival here. So I wanted to have a tribute to him. And the Olmec, which is the original Aboriginal people that were here that so-called Columbus discovered. The ones that were copper toned, dark skin, curly hair like mine, right? So we have the Olmec because I want to exert a certain energy. I'm proud of my history, and I am of the Olmec clan, which is, Olmec is actually a misnomer of the G clan, right? XI. So we have the Olmec. We also have some great soul food pieces like macaroni and cheese, which is made with 3 different cheeses, our own sauce. We have it gluten-free and regular, and it's baked macaroni and cheese. And when I say baked, every single serving is baked on the spot. So we make it up just like we would make up our macaroni and cheese at home, and we would stick the whole thing in the oven. Instead of sticking the whole thing in the oven, we stick it in the refrigerator, and we heat up your portion when you come in. So it's a 16-minute mac. We also have greens. We call them simple greens because they're kale, olive oil, and my special church seasoning. And we have candy yams, but because it's hard to keep the candy yams and reheat those baked, I cook them down till I can't cook them anymore, where they're almost like a cobbler. So we have sweet potato cobbler, and on the weekends we have fried fish or fried chicken, where it's a skin-on fried chicken. Most vegan chickens don't have like a skin on it. Mine is a skin-on fried chicken, and we have a real like dope whiting style fried fish. What else do we have? We also have the curry chickpea stew, which is kind of like a chana, so like an African American roti, and we put the candied yams and the greens in a wrap, and it's called the curry goat. And the GOAT stands for the greatest of all time, because that's what Drop Squad Kitchen is.
Can you tell us about your location and where you are and about the area?
Yeah. So Drop Squad Kitchen is located in the Old Molly's Old Fashioned Ice Cream and Deli in the riverfront. We're actually in the same building as Planet Fitness, but on the riverside. Our storefront actually faces the river. It's a beautiful place to hang out any time of the year. We have patio space. There is the Delaware Children's Museum is out here. They have Constitution Yards. There's a juice bar, like a juice bar. It's not vegan. They have a Thai restaurant that has vegan options. They have a pub next door that has like a veggie burger that has vegan options. The Delaware Chamber of Commerce is here. There's so many things to do. It's literally in 1 mile walking distance from the train station and the bus station. So you can get off the train and walk, or you can take an Uber for like 5 minutes. So we're in a really great scenic location right here on the Christina River. And it's just really a blessing to be able to have a vegan, so-called black-owned restaurant in this neighborhood.
Okay, before we get out of here, was there any like last comments or remarks or anything that you wanted to say?
Well, I have some exclusive information for you. This is not something that I really speak about, but I'm very proud of my family and how we live our life in our culture. And we are, I think, a hidden jewel amongst a lot of these businesses. Most of these businesses are LLCs, S-corps, you know, regular for-profit organizations. And we are a nonprofit organization also, but not a 501c3. We are actually a 501d community, which basically says that after everything has been paid for, our profit is split up amongst our family members. And, you know, we do pay taxes. Everybody goes and files on in their individual capacity. But what I like is that everything comes in the family business's name. Everything that we do, food, shelter, clothing, transportation, communication, education, any living stipends, it all comes from the hard work that we put in here. And that we also invite people who work here to either work as a 1099 contractor or whatever their ministry is, or to become a part of our family. And I love that. And I really feel as though that we are an example of what we should be doing as a people, so that we can get our resources up and force our families to start working together and honoring some of the gifts that we have. And then as more families do that, we can have a federation of families that are doing that. And maybe now we can have some real political input and not just have to accept the lesser of two evils when we go to vote and things like that. And you know, we'll have some more political power as we did prior to integration. And I'm really proud of the way that I have expressed my activism and the way that I have expressed my love for my family and my lineage and my ancestors by finding a way to do that that is legal and that I think is a great example to others.